honor your name. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em.
Good morning in Minot. Good morning in Moorhead, home of the Spuds. Thank you for making KFGO number one in the morning, number one all day long. The KFGO Morning Crew, Doug Leier, Amistadi, getting your Monday set for you.
Well, we're going to talk Vikings football. Yes, they lost again. Mike Mussman, Vikings Radio Network, joining us on the KFGO Morning Crew. Good morning to you, Muss.
Morning, guys. What's more disappointing, 2 plays in yesterday, or the fact that it's snowing right now?
It's really like a horse apiece when you start off a Monday like that. Muss, I want to touch on a couple of things with you. You called it early on that, even though the Falcons are 0-5, new coach, fired the GM, could be a trap game. But then even more so, listening to the pregame, I think it was you and Ben Lieber talking about how key it would be to start the run game so you could hopefully establish the play action. And what did the Vikings do? They passed on the first play. Must go.
Well, yeah. I mean, first and foremost, it's a bold move when you win the coin toss and you don't defer. You decide to take the ball, and the very first play, you throw a pick. 5 plays later, it's a Julio Jones touchdown. Devastating. But that was the nice part about it. It's like taking the Band-Aid off, just rip it off first as fast as you can, because that was how the whole game was going to go. So at the very least you saw that, whereas in Seattle you almost had hope. And then they slowly took the Band-Aid off. It's interesting to me that the creativity for our offense is just not there. And then when we try, we do things that are ridiculous. And that was just a terrible pass. And Kirk Cousins can be that way sometimes, where he can be brilliant, and you could see the dimes that he's throwing to Justin Jefferson. And then other times you're like, what are you looking at? I think he's seeing ghosts, because for the most part, he gets hit a lot. And I think now he's anticipating the pressure sometimes and just makes bad decisions.
Do you think maybe Cousins and the team didn't think that it was going to be much of a competition with Atlanta?
I don't know that you ever overlook. I know when you're going into a bye week, sometimes you already got your foot in the sand, so to speak. But with this team and the way things are going, I would bet that a lot of guys are not going to be doing that normal stuff they would do for the bye week. But I think that it was so weird because they came out so flat, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. They came out flat, and they were just flat out bad.
Mike Mussman, Vikings Radio Network. You hear him on the Minnesota Vikings games right here on the Mighty 790 KFGO. I look at it and I think, now we've got Kirk Cousins, we've got Adam Thielen. Granted, Dalvin Cook didn't play yesterday. We've got some talent on the offense, no doubt about that. 4th and goal, and do we start questioning the play calling even more 2 weeks in a row?
Absolutely, and that's where the creativity comes in. I mean, when you got linebackers from Atlanta in your backfield and unblocked, mind you, I mean, you ran to them. Sometimes when you leave somebody unblocked, you're normally running away from them. You're thinking, okay, Boone's going to be able to outrun that linebacker from the far side. But you're running to them. That means someone missed it, or the fact that your offense is so predictable that you can't be successful. And I don't know if that's the fact that, like, Kubiak is just old school and Zim wants it old school, or we don't have the talent for it. And as you mentioned, some of our star players are awesome. But, I mean, offensive line still in question, and maybe that's why they don't go very creative, because they just don't think that there's going to be enough time.
It doesn't seem like we're seeing a lot of chemistry this year.
No. Well, yeah. So it's tough when you have so many injuries. And we've had so much change as far as players in the locker room, and a lot of those voices that left, and some of them were asked to come back and offered to come back and didn't come back, kind of to me feels like maybe that's a red flag. You look at how these players had opportunities to stay in a program that they loved and didn't. That makes me go, maybe they saw something that we didn't see.
And I know a lot of people, we're talking with Mike Mussman, Vikings Radio Network, a lot of people are the armchair quarterbacks here calling for getting rid of Cousins, getting rid of Zimmer. We can't. We just have too much money tied up in them, right?
Yeah, and Cousins is definitely more so. the Wilfs could, if they wanted to, if they wanted to just say, that's it, we're getting rid of Zimmer, we're going to get rid of Spielman, we're just going to make a big change there. They could just cut the check, and that's just out of their pocket. With Cousins, you can't just get rid of him because you still have that money that goes against the cap. You got dead money that's going to be sitting there, so you might as well at that point just say, go earn it. Let's go see. We're going to be a big transitional team right now, and we got young guys, and we're going to see what happens. You're going to get beat up a little bit, but you're going to earn your money.
Well, bright spot here, Justin Jefferson. We're liking him.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this kid is so amazing. I was talking to Ron Johnson, and, he played for the Gophers and then he played in the NFL wide receiver. He was actually on the field yesterday talking with Chris Carter, who was there to do a story on Justin Jefferson. And apparently Chris Carter said, this is the best kid I've ever seen, the best wide receiver at this stage of his career that he's ever seen. He's got unbelievable hands. He's got poise. The route running is unbelievable. I mean, the 166 is outstanding. A lot of that, though, unfortunately, was in garbage time. But nonetheless, 9 receptions, 166, and 2 TDs. It's a pretty good day for a rookie.
Yeah, I've been enjoying watching him. All right, so we need to get a Sid Hartman story off you. I'm imagining that you've had some encounters with Sid Hartman, who we learned the news yesterday. Sid died, 100 years old. You had to have some encounters with him over the years, Muss.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Revered man. Absolutely. When we walked in the room, you knew everyone was like, that's it, just let him do what he wants. 12 seasons of doing this for me with the Vikings Radio Network, and when we were at the Metrodome, this is my favorite one about Sid. We were in the Metrodome, and they feed the media, and at the Metrodome, we got basically the old Dome Dogs. It was a terrible feed. But at any rate, after I did my halftime show, I would run down, and I would go and get myself some lunch, and there would be hardly anything ever left. I'm standing in line trying to get some food. Sid comes walking in, and as Sid would do, he just went wherever he wanted, did whatever he wanted. He kind of like nudged me and walked in like broken line, grabs a item of food, holds it up, looks at me and goes, is that a cookie? No, Sid, that's a baguette. And he just put it back down and walked away.
He had to be. But I think as crotchety as he was on the outside, people obviously loved him. I've seen a lot of talk on social media, including from some of our former coworkers here, Sandy Buttweiler and Wendy Paulson, just saying great things about Sid. He had to be just warm and fuzzy on the inside, but on the outside, he just had that curmudgeon type feel to him.
Yeah, I think what's amazing about his career, and I mean, God rest his soul, 100 years old, what a life. But what he always did in his career was he was fair. He was fair to everyone. He would call you out, but for the most part, he would build you up. And he was always so good about that. And that's the thing I think most players, coaches, and anybody that's ever been affiliated with him really, really appreciate is that's the soft side where you go, man, that guy could have just tore me up. And he didn't. Like, he found a way to build me up. And that's saying something about a career. You
bet. A very long career. Very good. All right, Mike, thanks for sharing that story, and thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Bonnie, Doug, you guys have a great day, and get those snowblowers going.
Yeah, we can't lose next week either. We got a bye week, so we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Muss.
There is that.
That's Mike Mussman of the Vikings Radio Network joining